Welcome back, my creative friends. It's me, Susana Baker, presenting Wynwood Magazine Podcast. Hi there. Welcome back to Wynwood Magazine Podcast. I'm Susana Baker, your host, and this afternoon with me, I am sitting at the beautiful, iconic Jewish Museum. And with me today is the fine artist slash illustrator, curator. He will tell you his own story in his words, Sid Daniels. Welcome.
It's great to be here, Susanna. My show is called Stage Compositions, and basically the background of the work is my history from New York City through the present moment.
So it expands how many decades?
It expands from 1979 through 2025, but the show that we're looking at right now is work that I created from 2009 to 2025. But my history goes
Right.
beyond that.
Right. So as a mixed media artist, when you're in front of a canvas, what is your what's your inspiration and what is your process making technique?
Well, my inspiration comes from the heyday of the disco era, fashion,
Love that.
movies, old movie musicals,
Love
black
that.
and white musicals, dance, Brazilian music, fashion, theater, glamour, and all of that combined is a stage presence in my work that you can see, whether it's architectural paintings or figurative paintings. And my muse is the woman under the umbrella. I don't know how that started, but one day I just decided to make this line, curved line. It ended up looking like an umbrella, and then I put in the female figure in there, and that's become like a,
I'm assuming that's before Under My Umbrella by Rihanna.
I don't know that one, Matt.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to look it up.
I have to look it up.
What year did you start this?
Well, my first umbrella painting was in the 70s, and then I went on to other things.
She wasn't born.
She wasn't born yet.
Yeah.
But I perfected it. But it's not the only thing that I do.
No, obviously. And we're going to walk around this show and show and definitely showcase three pieces, which I know for you is hard because you have multiple genres up on these walls. And we definitely want to tell our Wynwood Magazine viewers to come to the Jewish Museum and take in this amazing show. I wish I was here last month to interview you. My schedule didn't permit it, but it's been up for 60 days. It's going to end at the end of July. And so you want to come see this incredible body of work of Sid Daniels. Now, tell me, so when you do Under the Umbrella, what do you call her? What do you call this particular?
It's the Parasol series.
Parasol series. I knew it wasn't Under the Umbrella. Parasol series.
Well, the Parasol series started in 2013. And I spent 2013, 2014, and into 2015 doing the diptychs that you see here and the singular paintings that are 36 by 48. But what makes them interesting is that since my muse, since I love to design, so each painting is different. I'm not afraid of taking chances with my design inspiration that comes from Art Deco, that comes from Mimo, that comes from mid-century Miami. And
it's so Miami. It really is. And the architectural lines, the Art Deco feeling. You can see the disco, Miami era in the 80s and 90s.
And you can hear the music because it's like in my resume, I have it's called Stage Compositions. So each of them, they are compositions and they're staged because each painting looks like either it's a set design, a backdrop for a movie musical or a theatrical performance. And they're all moving, and
so now, when did you because I know of you for
Few
a
years.
few years, I would say a decade and a half, when we started South Beach tours and art, and you came onto my Bloomberg radio when I had that. So you've been on my radar. And then, there's so much talent in the art world, but you definitely stand out. And you've been doing this for a minute. When were you approached by the museum? How was the whole, were you able to have creative freedom, which it seems like you did do?
She gave me curatorial independence.
That's
Come in,
awesome.
hang it, do what you want, write your resume, write the.
That's amazing.
She was very kind to me, and
That is such an amazing story, because it's so well deserved
Susan
to,
Pasternak is the
yeah,
director.
Susan Pasternak of Jewish Museum, the director. What an amazing visionary to really take on a native Miamian who's been really, putting his mark, using all vernacular um, beauty that Miami, MIMO, Art Deco, everything has to offer. And I remember the days where Warsaw, the amazing Club New, the
Yeah.
discotheques, we're all from that era, those that are, late baby boomers, we remember that. So looking at a painting will definitely evoke a conversation or a memory, which I love that. And so, what does your future entail?
Well, I would like to go forward with new series of
Yeah.
paintings. I just
Uh-huh.
started. I just moved up to North Beach recently, and it's a whole different vibe. And I just began my first painting. But I want to continue with the parasols, but take it to a different level. And one of the things I want to do is my works on paper that are abstract. I want to take those designs and I want to turn them into large canvases. So I'm going to continue painting, and the works on paper that I did during the pandemic from 2019 to 2020, 2019 to 2023, I think it was. I stopped painting in 2019 during the pandemic, and I was
Yeah.
working on paper. So doing all my fashion drawings
Awesome.
and
Yeah.
works
You're
on
always
canvas.
giving us great uh, social media contents. You're always showing a painting you just finished. You're very proactive at that.
Hmm.
And so we're going to make sure that our audience gets to see and preview some of the show. So at this point, we're going to do a walkthrough and
Great.
talk about three paintings. How's
Okay,
that?
that sounds
And
great.
before we cut this interview into the visual walking tour, what would your suggestion, if you were to give uh, one advice to a young artist coming up in this industry, what would that
A
be?
lot of people ask me that, and it's like, what would I say? Um, don't expect miracles. I mean, it's not, you have to just keep painting and keep exposing yourself and showing yourself to the world. And I've been doing that for, for decades, and I'm not a famous painter, but
Very respected.
I'm well respected, but I want to reach that level
Yeah.
because I
Well,
think I deserve it.
yeah. Well,
Without being, modest, I do think I deserve it at this point. I mean,
well,
I need a wider audience.
you got recently a proclamation,
I got a proclamation from the city of Miami Beach, which is very nice.
which is well deserved, because you have really inspired the community and given back to the community with your arts.
Laura,
What would you say to your younger self? What advice would you give to Sid Daniels, being 22?
say yes to everything. Because when I was 22, I didn't have the courage that I have now. And I just basically, there were a lot of opportunities that I had during that period between when I was 22 to 20, to 27 and 28. And I had a lot of opportunities and I didn't take them because I didn't know how to proceed.
Right.
So
just plunge yourself.
I just,
now you're plunging
I wish
yourself.
I could turn the clock back.
You can't.
But I can't.
And
but
so
I
we
can't.
gotta we just gotta march
So
forward.
my advice is just march forward. What else can
Listen,
you
we're
say?
too late, baby bloomers. Here I am with Wynwood Magazine podcast. But you're right, saying yes to the opportunities and creating opportunities where you see a little creak on that door, knock it over with your foot.
Because you never know
what's behind it,
what's
what
behind
is in front of it. And every challenge just makes you, it's not walking up the mountains. That's fabulous. That's not what exhausts you. It's the small pebble in your shoe.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And you know what? Some of us got to take that pebble out of our shoe and just move and march forward. I think you're doing that. I love your show, and I can't wait to see it, and we're going to walk around and see it.
Great.
Thank you, Sid Daniels.
Well, thank you.
So to continue, the Jewish Museum, the show is up through July 31st. You do not want to miss the show of Sid Daniels. And the name of the show again?
Staged Compositions.
Stage Compositions. And this is a fabulous series of Sid Daniels mixed media on paper. And this is all how his inspiration, how he stages the background, how he is about glamour and Hollywood and Americana. And you can see all the inspiration across. I love this Soleil. Oh, I just got a beautiful prints too. The fashion, you could see the fashion. Look how fabulous all this fashion is. And it's just absolutely amazing. And this is mixed media on paper. These are limited prints. Everything here is for sale.
They're for sale, but the museum doesn't allow.
No. But they're for sale. If somebody wants to reach out to you, they're for sale, and we're going to definitely follow on our interview with social media handle. What is your social media handle?
Sid Daniels Official. SIDDANIELS Official. OFFICIAL.
Someone took your name, huh?
Sid Daniels Official.
Okay, let's move on to this amazing series that I love, Garden Party. And I love how you use the iridescent background. That's something new.
This is called the Labyrinth series. I did a series of like 8 to 10 paintings based on the design after I did the Parasol series. And I just experimented with the tight lines. I work with the masking tape technique. Yes. And it's hard edge. And it gives me so much freedom to experiment.
Freedom
to experiment.
I would be like,
it's not it's not an easy process.
No, it's not. I would be like so fired. I would be so depressed.
Well, they're multi-layered. And
that's what I'm saying when you say easy, and I'm looking at this unbelievable layer after process making technique. This, my friend, is not easy.
The design started, the painting series started as a little paper design sketch. And I looked at the thing, and it looked like a labyrinth to me. And then I started working on color coded designs, and I just made a whole series of them. And then I just ad-libbed as I went along. I didn't have I never have a plan for a finished piece. It just starts with a color, and then.
So you pick your color, then you do your sketch?
I don't even pick the color. The color picks me, actually.
Nice.
I could look across the room and see a color of the wall painted, and I said, oh, look, God, that's interesting. So let me start with that. So I basically my colors pick me.
Now talk to me about this. This looks like a little bit of kite flying, parasol. I see a little bit of.
I wanted to divert myself from the Labyrinth series and try to do something a little more quirky, So after the design was drawn out on the canvas, I started to figure out how am I going to make this look like a painting, and it just like developed,
It's
and it
gorgeous.
looks like a garden party because you see this looks like a woman's head with a hat, and do you see that? I don't know if you
Well,
see that.
no, that's, you know
And
what?
then they're
The great
flowers,
the great thing about art
it's
is
go,
when you're standing in front of it, each viewer should take away their own story. Now, I could see how you see your hats because you love fashion. So you're looking at fabulous hats. I'm looking at the beach. I'm
everybody
looking at
will,
a big blue
yeah,
sky and kites and kids flying around and having fun.
everybody will
But
have a
everybody
different
keeps,
interpretation.
and that's what great art does. And this is again another version of the labyrinth with
Well,
different
the
colors.
titles are just as important because I name the titles are created after the painting is created. I look at the painting and I say, that looks like one of those espresso machines or something. I called it Calypso Cafe because again, the
Calypso
music,
Cafe is this blue,
yeah.
beautiful Art Deco colors, sort of a little bit, yeah,
And the titles are are fun to come up with
yeah.
because they're based on the music and the styles that I like listening to
What kind of
while I'm
music do
painting.
you like to listen to?
I love Brazilian jazz.
Nice.
I
And this
love
is
Brazilian
called
jazz.
Red Black Labyrinth.
Red and Black Labyrinth.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
love it. I
yeah,
love the positive
the
and
positive and the
negative.
negative, yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoy that. Let's go to your signature pieces.
These are my signature pieces.
Yeah. So let's continue down this amazing carousel pop of work.
So
I
this was
love
the
the
first.
colors. The color palettes that you choose are very unique and different.
Mhm.
I go around talking to artists around the world, local and global, and everybody has their own color palette. This is definitely a Sid Daniels palette right here. These two are so Sid Daniels.
Mhm.
Let's talk about these two.
I created a grid in pencil. And I wanted to overlap. I didn't know what the painting was going to look like, but I wanted to make it complicated. And I wanted to make it look like I was going to spend a lot of time on it.
How long do you spend on something like this?
Something like this, it's weeks.
Yeah,
Weeks.
yeah.
I don't, is it,
It should be.
it could be 2 months. It depends on
Yeah.
how long.
How long you want to keep layering and process
Yeah, because
the
once I do the layering, then there are more layers that go on
right,
top of it. And then I
right.
look at it and I said, I need to take this a step further. I need to push it up a little bit. So I started getting creative, and the end result. But then you see my airbrush technique is the last step. So that's what brings out the painting, because they're not really flat. They're kind of like they have a dimension to it, with the airbrushing.
I love the work. I
And
really do. I've always have.
I just love experimenting with my
Yeah.
work.
And so now you went from all this layering, Art Deco colors, and now you bring it into a more, what would you call this? More of a metropolitan feel or
I don't
palette?
I
How
don't
would,
know. I really don't have a name for it, but
yeah. But I do
it
love
does look like more of what are those windows in the churches called?
stained glass.
It has a stained glass feeling,
Yeah, it definitely
So
does.
the background looks like the outside, and the woman is walking in front of it,
I
creating
love
a
that.
shadow technique.
I love that.
And the monochromatic, colors,
Yeah.
come
Oh,
out,
they just really pop.
and then there's such a difference between the warm and the cool,
Yeah.
but they work together.
Well, you make it work.
But this one I want to talk about.
Okay, let's talk about this one. This
So
is the last one.
this series that I did, I have a few of these. This is basically in the show. I have my work is just selected works. It's not everything that I've done. So this is one of those in the series. And it's inspired by the Busby Berkeley musicals of the 1930s, when they overshot. of the women,
Oh, the women in
the thing
yeah.
like that. So it's that kind of a thing,
And I love the dancer. What kind of dancer
So
is this?
this is a Latin flamenco male dancer, and I repeated the image 4 times
Yeah.
with the showgirl, and they're joined by the hat. So the kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
So that's what this is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that
I love
just
it.
yeah, and because I have a strong sense of design, I knew how to make that
You
happen.
should put a mechanism that makes it go around.
Wouldn't that be great?
Well, you should do it in a circle next time.
Well, I can do
with
that
a mechanism, and just people love that kinetic art.
I have to try that on Photoshop,
Yeah,
and see
and kinetic
and make it
art.
move, yeah.
Yeah, and see how you like it, and then make it into a painting, because that's what sells during Miami Art Week, and
That would be
the
great,
great
yeah.
weeks. The people love that kind of like, what is that? And then they go and they see how phenomenal it is. So I think that whatever you do and whatever you touch, your canvases are phenomenal. Sid Daniels, thank you for your time. Jewish Museum through July 31st here in Miami Beach with the phenomenal Sid Daniels, his amazing work, stage compositions. See you next time in Wynwood Magazine.
Thank you, Susana. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We hope you enjoyed our podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wynwood Magazine Official and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for listening.